Hey, good evening, Brother Lawrence. How you doing? Just waiting for a second. Maybe a couple more people might join us in this video. I'm not going to be very long at all. Just had to do a video, man, because I haven't done one in a while. I know I promised to do two earlier this week, and situations arose, man, where I was unable to. But how you doing, Brother Lawrence? Glad you can join me. I'm trying to see. It's not going to let me answer a comment. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and start. Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all know who this is. It's your boy, Rob Thomas Jr. And this is the real news behind the news. Oh, yeah, the day is Friday, April 9th, 2021. And the day is my little man's birthday. Happy birthday, son. Daddy loves you so, so much. You know, I miss you so much, little boy. It's crazy, y'all. You know. Hey, oh, your city, you from Shreveport, Chris, 3 times. The city's not doing too good. It's not doing too good at all. This city, what do I do with my? Y'all give me a second. I'm trying to find my comments. Oh, okay, here we go. All right, yeah, the city is not doing too good at all, my brother. It's crazy here. We'll start off with the news in the city of Shreveport. Recently, well, just say out for the last week, there's been a video out on Facebook here locally in Shreveport that shows the altercation leading up to a mother of 9. Keep in mind, this woman had 9 children who were pretty much, most of them, if not all of them, were in the vehicle when she got shot on Easter Sunday, this past Easter Sunday. And in the video, it shows a fight, the fight. And then at the end of the video, you can hear gunshots being reported. And as the girls who were involved in the altercation were running back to the car, getting in the car to make their getaway, one of the young ladies mentioned a guy named Chris, who she said was alleged to have been doing the shooting. Now, I did a video yesterday talking about part of the problem. And part of the problem is our children, thanks to smart devices, and not just children, but people, period, grown-ups also, due to these smart devices, we're losing our ability to form a logical thought process. Whereas these smart devices pretty much have taken over the ability of us as human beings to think for ourselves. We rely on these smart devices. Hence, when people get in high pressure situations, they fail to form, take those 3-4 seconds to form a thought process that will make them question what they're about to do. And at the same time, they're reacting based upon emotions that they have acquired while looking at a lot of this dumb shit on social media. Believe it or not, people around here living life like it's a great big video game. And we here in America don't realize the power of the media. We don't think that the media has an influence on our ability to think. We don't believe that the media has the ability to influence your thinking and your behavior. If the media did not have that power, why do you think they put commercials in the middle of their programs? Because they're influencing you to go out and spend your money on certain products. Hence, when these young people get into a high pressure situation, they respond like they're living in a video game. And as I said in the video I posted yesterday, these cats that's running around here doing this killing, they're not listening to Luther Vandross Marvin Gaye, Earth, Wind and Fire, Anthony Hamilton, Patti LaBelle, Mary J. Blige. They are listening to people who are talking about killing other people. And when you constantly infiltrate or allow your spirit to absorb this type of programming, it influences your thought process, and hence it influences the way you respond and your actions. Now, also, we're going to be brief. I'm going to go down. Matter of fact, first of all, let me go down before, let me stop and we'll come back to this. One of the first stories that I really want to talk about is the tragic passing of DMX. Now, DMX, in my opinion, was definitely in the top 10 as far as lyricists and rappers all time in history. But it's my opinion that he was in the top 5. One of the greatest artists in music history. Think about it. DMX is the only rapper where his first 5 albums debuted in the top 10 or top 1 in the Billboard music charts. All 5 of his first albums were School is the Best Way Out right now. Well, Brother Chris, the schools, public schools in particular, are nothing but indoctrination camps. A lot of the stuff that we see going on, especially when it comes to the, y'all forgive me, but I'm not trying to marginalize anybody, but when it comes to stuff like the homosexual agenda, you know what I'm saying, the transgender thing, the schools are an indoctrination camp for a lot of these agendas. The schools basically, again, in the public school system, mostly are nothing but gladiator camps. You know, they loop your children. And then too, the schools are helping with this Common Core. They're helping in the process of indoctrinating your children. They're not teaching your children to think. They're teaching them patterns in the public system. And the purpose of teaching them patterns is to transform them into workers, assembly line workers, shit like that. There's no emphasis in the public school system on being CEOs or entrepreneurs. They're preparing our children to be workers or prisoners. Literally, that's the way I see it. I could be wrong, but really, education starts at home. If your child goes to school in the kindergarten and don't already know how to count and say his ABCs, that's a problem. A child really supposed to learn that at 2 to 3 years old. By 4 years old, they're supposed to be able to count to at least 20 and say all their ABCs and understand what they're saying. But in the school system, basically, it's nothing more than a daycare for a lot of children. And then you look at the public school system again, it's part of the school to prison pipeline, you know, where a lot of our children, they would classify them as troublemakers, you know what I'm saying? Basically kick them up out of the school system and leave these children to the streets. And that's how a lot of these kids are winding up juveniles already in the prison system. But let's go ahead and read this story about DMX. And again, to me, DMX was one of the greatest. I mean, when it comes to lyrics, he was on point. Literally, in my opinion, one of the top 5 lyrics. But also there's a story going around. The general story is that DMX had a drug overdose. All right. And I guess it caused a massive heart attack, and which left him in a coma. But since then, there's allegedly a report that his family members are saying that he recently received a vaccination so that he could travel overseas and other places to perform concerts. Now, we haven't been able to verify that, but we do know that Marvin Hagler had died because of complications due to the vaccine. We do know, and this is one of the stories we're going to talk about, that a couple of these vaccinations are responsible for blood clots. We do know also that it is being underreported in the mainstream news on how many people are dying or suffering serious side effects from these vaccinations. So we're gonna get in. Let me read this story about DMX. DMX, this is coming from TMZ. DMX has died a week after suffering an overdose, TMZ has learned. TMZ broke the story. X had virtually no brain function after he was deprived of oxygen for near 30 minutes following his overdose. Brain function never returned, and by Thursday, his organs began failing while he remained on life support in the New York hospital. Many people in X's family were at the hospital over the last week, including his mom, fiance, and many of his kids. A rep for the family tells TMZ, "We're deeply saddened to announce today that our loved one, DMX, birth name of Earl Simmons, passed away at 50 years old at White Plains Hospital with his family by his side after being placed on life support for the past few days. Earl was a warrior who fought to the very end." The statement continues, "He loved his family with all his heart, and we cherish the times we spent with him. Earl's music inspired countless of fans across the world, and his iconic legacy will live on forever. We appreciate," I'm gonna see something, let me see if we got any more comments. "All right, we appreciate all the love and support during this incredible difficult time. Please respect our privacy as we grieve the loss of our brother, father, uncle, and the man the world knew as DMX. We will share information about his memorial service once details are finalized." DMX got his start in music back in the 80s, performing with Ready Run while simultaneously serving time behind bars until he finally dedicated himself to music full-time in the 90s. He eventually got signed to Columbia Records, Rough House imprint, and appeared on records with Jay-Z, LL Cool J, Mace, and even the rock band Sum 41. It wasn't until '98 that he truly broke out when he released his Rough Riders debut studio album, It's Dark and Hell is Hot, due to critical and mainstream acclaim. Not to mention, he added his new K9 persona. IDAHIA produced 4 singles, including well-known Get At Me Dog, How's It Going Down, Stop Being Greedy, and the track that might perhaps be his best known, the Rough Riders Anthem, which became to be the song everyone played to get hyped. Rough Riders has gone down in history as one of the great hip-hop songs ever, and it ended up making it on Billboard's Hot 100 chart. All right, I'm gonna read one of the lyrics to one of DMX's songs, and this is one of my favorite DMX's song, but it shows you how deep this brother was in his lyrical. Hold on, let me go. Hold on a second, y'all. Give me just 1 second. Let me pull this up, because this comes from the song "Who We Be." Now, a lot of people slept on this song, "Who We Be," but DMX came so hard. And I'll just briefly read the second verse. I'm gonna go over the second verse in this song, and man, just watch how deep this cat was in his lyrics. Second verse of the song "Who We Be." Keep in mind, it's DMX. What we seeing is the streets, the cops, the system, harassment, the options: get shot, go to jail, or get your ass kicked. The release, the warning, try not to get in trouble. The snitches, the odds, probation. Hold on, I forgot. I skipped. Let me go back. I skipped the street. What we're seeing is the streets, the cop, the system, harassment, the option: get shot, go to jail, or get your ass kicked. The lawyers, the part they are of the puzzle. The release, the warning, try not to get in trouble. The snitches, the odds, probation, parole, the new charge, the bail, the warrant, the hole, the cell, the bus, the ride up north, the greens, the boots, the yards, these hearts, the fighting, the stabbing, the pulling, the grabbing, the ride squad with the captain. Nobody knows what happened. 2 years in a box, revenge, the plot, the 23 hours that's locked, the 1 hour that's not, the silence, the dark, the mind, so fragile, the wish that the streets would have took you when they had you, the days, the months, the years, despair, the one night on my knees, here it comes, the prayer. DMX, man, was so brilliant and proficiently brilliant in his lyrics, man, that in my opinion, again, he will go down in rap history as one of the top 5 people to ever pick up a microphone. This is just my opinion. You all might think different, but it is what it is. It's a sad day in rap right now because DMX, again, at 50 years old, he had a long life, but he lived half a century, but that life was troubled. Now, if you notice in DMX music, he never emphasized or brag like a lot of these new rappers do about the killing. And now there's a difference when somebody is telling a story pointing out the consequences of violence, of drug addiction, drug dealing, growing up in a broken home, going in and out of the system, as opposed to somebody glorifying it. Now, when you hear these rappers again, in order to be successful as a rapper today, you got to shoot 12 niggas, have sex with 37 women, sell 37 pounds of dope, basically take 60 mollies and smoke 82 blunts all before 9 a.m. in the morning. And this is what we're seeing in our neighborhoods now. Whereas these cats in the old school, they used to say we just tell them what was going on. They told you what was going on, but they also emphasized, most importantly, they emphasized the consequence. These cats right now are basically putting out a message of drug addiction, violence, mayhem, death, and destruction. Now, something else I wanted to do when we talked about, said I was going to do the video, what was that, Wednesday, and I didn't get, I want to show you how this thing goes. Now, rap music, starting with Tupac, has basically made the term thug popular. And I'm going to break it down. Matter of fact, hold on before we do this, man. I don't know if my son watching. You know, and that's crazy. Again, my little man turned 11 today. And I'm so happy to be a father who is there for his child to grow up. But it was also a very depressing day because for the first time in his 11 years, I was not able to do anything for my son. So, you know, I don't know if you're watching Little Man, because I know he watches me closely on my channel. So I have to be very careful when I'm doing it. But if you're watching Little Man, Dad's going to try to send you something, man. I know I sent you a little bit last week, but Dad got you. I love you, little boy. All right. We're going to go back. Tupac made the phrase real popular, thug. And since Tupac, you have a whole generation claiming thug, but don't realize the spiritual implications of claiming thug. Did you all know that thug is actually basically derived from the Thuggee tribe, which was a religious cult back in India almost 200 years ago, 150 years ago. Now, this Thuggee tribe in England, what you got to realize, let me give y'all a little brief history. There's a place over in Afghanistan where Afghanistan and Pakistan meets on the border. And throughout the mountains, it's called the Khyber Pass. That was really one of the only ways that you can get from Afghanistan to Pakistan is go through this Khyber Pass. Now, in the Khyber Pass, there was this tribe of criminals, refuge. I'm talking about the worst of society. They were murderers, rapists, thieves. They were literally the worst of the worst. But they practiced a religion where they worshiped the goddess Kali. What they would do is when they found a group of travelers coming through that pass, heading whether they were going or coming from Afghanistan to Pakistan, what they would do, they would offer these pilgrims or these travelers a place to rest. The travelers, not knowing what's going on, were grateful to see a warm burning fire with good food cooking and all the drink that you want. So when these travelers say, okay, yeah, we'll sit here and chill with y'all for a little bit, they would sit there and get them drunk as heck. And at night point, when came to a point when all these travelers fell asleep, they would cut their throats, cut their heart out, and sacrifice it to the goddess of Kali. Some say they would actually eat the hearts of their victims. This was a religious tribe called the Thuggee tribe. This is where you get your term thug from, literally. Look it up. This is where you get your term thug from. And then we wondering why. I mean, these young cats can't put it together. Here today, everybody that claims thug has at least been to prison one time, then probably murdered somebody, and we're not putting that shit together. 1 + 1 = 2. It is a religious cult that is designed, they were all about death, destruction, chaos, mayhem, and violence. So this is what you're seeing. Wonder why you in jail? Pretty much 90% of the time, it's because you lived a thug lifestyle. And jail is part of the consequences because you are worshiping a religion. We think it's thing to make you gangster. No, that shit is a religion, and you're involved with a spiritual entity that is designed to destroy us. This is why we have so much death, chaos, mayhem, and destruction amongst our younger people. And I can't say it just among younger people, because here in Shreveport, Brother Chris, you got a bunch of 40 and 50-year-old men around here throwing up gang signs, claiming a sect, contributing to the problem, because instead of teaching our youngsters better, they are teaching our youngsters the same death and destruction. Hence, let's go back to the situation here. Y'all seen the video that I shared. What is a mother of 9 doing fighting a group of girls with her children in the car? First and foremost, we have to ask that question. It's tragic when anybody lose their life. But the first question we always must ask is what part did they play in their own death? If you, at nighttime, you traveling with your 9 kids, what are you doing hanging out at the party spot where everybody is hanging out? First and foremost, with your 9 children. Unless you are at the park for a family day or something like that, what the fuck are you doing with 9 children? And I don't know how old was the young lady, but she got 9 kids. So first and foremost, not trying to judge anybody because the lady is deceased, and I don't want to talk bad about her, but I'm just speaking in general. What the fuck are you doing with 9 children? Somewhere in your life, that means there was a lot of irresponsible thinking. So it's very irresponsible for you to be in this crowd, knowing how shit is crazy in Shreveport, knowing maybe that you had a beef with somebody, and you put your 9 kids in harm's way. And if nothing else, your children will be traumatized now because they saw the fight that led up to them seeing you get shot and murdered. Now, keep in mind, it was Easter Sunday, but there's no way to fuck. I'm gonna put it like this. Again, today is my son's birthday. But when I was selling drugs, my son was 2 years old when they came with their indictment on me. 4 counts of actual distribution, not possession with intent, but 4 counts of distribution where they had a snitch. Well, it wasn't a snitch, it was a person who I lived with. Once I put that person out, they got caught with some drugs. And the police basically used that person to come and buy an ounce of weed from me on 4 separate occasions. This is why they had 4 counts of distribution. At 2 years old, my son I got full custody of my son. He saw me go to jail and face a life sentence. I don't know if y'all know, here in Louisiana, they're restricting a lot of the possession laws, but get caught distributing marijuana. Did you know marijuana is a Schedule 1 drug? In the state of Louisiana, if you get caught selling marijuana, that is a mandatory minimum of 5 years, right? Meaning that if you get convicted, they got to give you at least 5 years, even if it was just 2 joints, and no more than 30 years. So I was facing a minimum of 20 years and a maximum of 120 years. On top of that, I was a 2-time convicted felon. And I didn't know if I was going to see my son ever again. That's why I say I'm so grateful to be here in my son's life, because I actually walked out of there, didn't snitch on nobody, didn't have to do nothing but read the law book. And that year that I actually went before the judge to be sentenced, I read the law books and realized that they had just passed a law that year and it went into effect a month before I got my sentence. Whereas a third time convicted felon in the state of Louisiana, as long as you don't have a violent or aggravated charge, they have to offer you probation. So that's the word for the wise. If you ever face a sentence in the state of Louisiana, a felony, and it's your third one, your third time, they got to give you probation. No matter what it is, as long as it's not a violent or aggravated charge. That's just a word of wise. But again, we have to start asking the question. Nobody wants to ask these questions. But again, what part do you play in your own death? And this is what we have to ask about this lady. Her children will be traumatized for that because they saw her get murdered before her eyes. And again, I don't think this woman could have been over 35. I don't think she was. But if she was, again, what the fuck are you doing out there? Because they was at a place in here in Shreveport, we got Hearn Avenue, one of the main streets. Actually, it's a highway, but it runs through the center of the city of Shreveport. They were at this Masonic hall. They was gathered at Hearn Avenue on weekends and holidays. It's like fucking Crenshaw Boulevard. I mean, these youngsters be for like a quarter of a mile, let's say almost a half a mile strip. Man, it's wild. I used to stay right around the corner from where this lady got shot. And it's like so many youngsters where if you're a responsible adult, you don't even want to drive through there. You'll actually go all the way up 5 to 6 blocks up to Jewella and just make a whole big block because you don't want to be there. You never know what's going to pop off. What are you doing out there with your children that time of night fighting at that in front of your children? 9 children. Again, 9 children. And if you look at a lot of pictures, there's really no father in the picture. But you have 9 children, no real father. There was a lot of irresponsible thinking in this young lady's life at some point, but pretty much at every point. 9 children. And you out there fighting in front of them and they see you get murdered. So again, we have to start asking. And then this whole killing, I'm gonna show you something. Now, this is part of the video. If y'all go back and watch that one video I did, you'll see. Well, when the girls who actually initiated the confrontation, after she got shot, they were running back to the car. And once they got in the car, started cranking up. The one girl asked the other, "You got my gun?" And the other girl said, "Yeah, it's in my pussy." First and foremost, if your pussy that big enough to hold a gun, ma'am, your shit is broke. You need to put it on disability. You need to get a disability check for your vagina, man. If you can stick a whole gun up in that motherfucker. For real. But the chick say, "Yeah, it's in my pussy." And as they drove off again, you can hear them say, "Man, Charles shot that girl." Now, we have pictures of who this alleged Charles is. You know what I'm saying? But that's a tragic situation. But again, it's no different than what's going on throughout the country. You know what I'm saying? It's tragic. But again, it goes back to us not being able to form rational, critical thinking and thought process in high pressure situations. You see what I'm saying? And it goes a lot to do with the music, because I guarantee you, none of those people that was out there at partying up on Hearn Avenue were listening to Luther Vandross or Anthony Hamilton. Now, they was listening to niggas that's talking about taking Molly, smoking major blunt, drinking, selling dope, and killing each other. Again, I always say, we cannot continue to blame white supremacy on everything. What point do you take responsibility for your actions? Again, there's no way in the fuck. Like I say, when my son came to move in with me, believe it or not, y'all, even though they caught me on 4 counts of distribution, I had went from selling 3 pounds, 3 or more pounds every other day to just scoring an ounce of weed, enough where I can make up for $5, $10 bag, and just make enough to support, supplement my income. Because at that time I was managing at a McDonald's. And I sold so much dope out that McDonald's. I'm so glad they did not catch me. Nigga, I used to be at work and have 4 or 5 pounds sitting outside in the corral behind the dumpster. And God bless me where when my son came, he changed my whole life. It seems like a child will transform a person's thinking, because you don't want to not be there for your children. But again, when my son came, I said, fuck this. I'm contributing, because my son would walk around the house and take the little plastic baggies that I discard after I bag my shit up, and you find a little calculator, and he'll put the baggies on the calculator and start mashing the buttons. This is at 2 years old. I said, what the fuck am I doing? That was crazy. And it helped transform my thinking. Whereas, like I say right now, my son, he's probably at 11 years old now. He's understanding, but it makes me feel bad that as a father, I was not, for the first time in his 11 years, able to give him anything. Y'all don't believe me, man. I cried earlier today because it hurts me so bad not to give him. But my son would say, that's okay, Dad. You good. But at the same time, you know, when my son was growing up, at 3 years old, when he see me get rid, he was used to having, my son used to go walk around with, he had about 7 pairs of tennis shoes. We was in the mall every other day. And at first, you know, once I beat the charge, he was still used to Daddy having all that money. And even as he grew up and I was no longer selling drugs, he was used to Daddy always providing for him. He never had a want. If y'all seen that one video I posted, I'm gonna post it again, where I was asleep and he did a video and he just told me, say, Dad, I love you no matter what goes on, whether you right or wrong, I'm always love you. That was the greatest video I ever seen, man. It broke me down to this morning when I seen it again. But it seemed like becoming an adult and having children would make a person more responsible. But there was no responsibility in this young lady's action. Hence, unfortunately, and I'm not just picking on this young lady, but I'm just speaking truth. At what point do you play a part in your own death? That's crazy. Hey, I'm gonna do something, man. We can use y'all support. Maybe shit, if we get some donation, I can cash out him some money. And I'm gonna put this cash up. I mean, y'all see it going in the bottom, PayPal too. Y'all bless us, man. Support this. One of the reasons I haven't been here, man, is I got a lot going on. I thought I had this one job that paid me $20 an hour. The guy was really just stunting. And that goes on a lot amongst black contractors. Y'all be careful. If you got a skill or trade, get your own LLC. Because working for a lot of these black contractors, they say, look, man, I need you to do this or do that. I'm going to pay you such and such. Make sure you get your money at the end of every day. So we were struggling, man. Through two weeks behind on the rent here. So I had to get out here, man. God bless me over the week. I got at least a week and a half of it covered. But that's not you all's problem, but hell, that's part of the reason why it'd be hard for me to be consistent. Because whereas if I had a regular 9 to 5, it's like, I know at 6 o'clock I'm home, 8 o'clock for show. I could be doing a show. But shit, I be having to get out here sometimes at 10 o'clock or whatever just to get it. I'm still waiting on these motherfuckers. What's up with these stimuluses? Has everybody got their stimulus? I'm still waiting to get stimulated for my stimulus. But anyway, let's get on with the news. Well, we're gonna stop. I'll do a show tomorrow talking about the news. But I also wanted to talk about earlier this week, there was a subject I was going to talk about, the downloads, where I know this young lady who was a victim of her boyfriend. What's that, Chris? Hell no, what? What that? Hell no, Chris. What you were saying about that? Hell no to what? Leave a comment. And then too, really, if you got a comment, please leave your comment, man. We love you all comment. That actually helps the show goes a lot better, man. Hold on, y'all a second. Let me see something. Okay, I didn't want to see that notification. Yeah, y'all comments mean a lot, man. It actually helps the stimulus. You haven't received yours yet, Chris? That's what I call myself, depending on to catch up on this fucking rent here. And y'all realize I gotta get out this hotel. It's killing me, man. $40 a day or $220 a week. It's cheaper to pay by the week. But shit, when you out here hustling, you struggling just to try to get food and then pay. This shit, I see how people get caught up in this shit, man. I can't even save the money I need to start the work on my house so that me and my puppy can move back in, because everything I'm getting is going for either food or fucking pay this rent. It's nobody's fault. But you know, I mean, shit. It's my fault that I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna get back to the show. I know a young lady who was a victim. Now, I knew her quote unquote boyfriend, you know, from the streets and in jail. In jail, I'm put it like this: on the streets, this Negro's supposed to be one of the most gangster niggas ever lived. That nigga body, he keep 100, straight supposed to be gangster. But I'm seeing this Negro in jail. In jail, now keep in mind, there's a difference between jail and prison. A jail is where you go and you're held until you face charge, till you basically either get sentenced on the charge that you're arrested for, or you are acquitted. Jail is not prison, because in jail you can make bond. It never ceases to amaze me how all these cats supposed to be so gangster. They did all this shit, had all this money on the street, and these motherfuckers can't even make a $20,000 bond. You see what I'm saying? But now these youngsters especially come to jail on minor charges and have a mentality, well, shit, I'm locked up, man. You know, man got to do what he got to do. Nigga gonna have, you know, sexual feelings. I'm like, nigga, you in jail. You ain't even got sentenced yet. Nigga, you're facing a trespassing charges. At the most, if you do get convicted, you're looking at 6 months. And you're falling in love with another man? I mean, brother, you ain't been here but 35 days, and already you and another man are in a cell licking and kissing each other. Newsflash, y'all. People say he went to jail and got turned out. That's bullshit. Those Negroes were homosexual before they went to jail. Because as a man, if you go to jail, first of all, you know there's a chance you can get out. But if you go to prison, if a man makes a sexual pass at you or approach, whoop his ass or try your best or just stand up for yourself and fight back. People will know that you're not a punk, that they can't intimidate you. But these cats nowadays go to jail and they look for a man. So no, you don't go to jail and get turned out. You were a hoe before you went to jail. Now you get out of jail thinking nobody ever know that you had this man balls in your mouth while you was locked up in there, and you back with your girlfriend. Your girlfriend thinking that she got her man back, but now her man is creeping on the down low with other men. And probably was doing it before he went to jail. Because again, you don't go to jail to get turned out. No, you had those tendencies before you went to jail. Now, I'm going to be real. I don't look to criticize nobody. I got quite a few friends who are gay, man. So I'm not homophobic at all. They understand that that's just not my lifestyle, my choice. And if you're open with it, you know, you out the closet, standing on the front porch with it, I have no problem. But when you're around here sneaking and creeping, you like boys, you got a girlfriend, but you like boys, you are a piece of shit, man. Do you realize you're a problem? Men like this are contributing to HIV being one of the, our community having one of the highest rates of HIV in the world. Literally, man, this is crazy. I think that if you like boys and you like women, you should make it known that you're bisexual. Make it known out front. Don't be on the down low, man, jeopardizing these women's health, you know, basically being unfair, you know, by not letting these women know what you really are. If that means you're afraid to let her know, that means you're hiding something. And anytime you're hiding something, that means that what you are hiding is not right. Because if you were doing that which was right, you wouldn't have to hide, bro. For real. Hey, while y'all here, man, we're going to go for a few more minutes, man. Please, y'all leave some questions or comments. Please hit the like button and the share button if you're here. I can't see. Let me see what we got here. We got 9. Oh, wow, we got 15 watching, 9 likes. And again, y'all, I really do apologize. I be wanting to be consistent, and I be wanting to do these shows, I mean, nightly. But I be having shit coming up, man, you know. Oh, hold on. Well, you can't be gay and be gangster. Gotta choose one. You got a lot of gay gangsters, though. Because these niggas will shoot you. They gangster to the point where they think they got. Because first of all, a real gangster, man, gonna know that crime is bad for business. Literally. If you're a real gangster, you're not gonna want unnecessary crime going on in your hood or on your turf because it brings too much heat. I be trying to tell these dope boys that if you got any kind of power or pull in your hood, you need to be the main one trying to keep the violence down. Now, random violence does occur, but I bet you all those girls that got involved in that altercation Sunday, they like that little gangster lifestyle. Now, give me a second. Hold on. I'm looking for. I don't see it. But anyway, they like that lifestyle. And it's crazy. I apologize for doing this video so late, man. I wanted to do a little bit earlier, but you know, again, things come up. I'm trying to try to get a lot of shit done, man. So, you know, I'm gonna get it done eventually. I hope I need to get out here again tonight. It's gonna be a long night because I gotta get out there on the grind because I gotta get this man something in the motherfucking morning. That shit is crazy. But anyway, yeah, you're not a gangster, man, if you're gay. I'm gonna just keep it real. You're a gay gangster, put it like that. And I don't have no problem again with a person being gay. That's not a problem at all, especially when they're open with it. You let everybody know up front what's going on. I can respect that more than a man who sneaks around with a girlfriend. Man, you got men that have been married 20, 30 years, living that double lifestyle, man. First of all, you need to win an Oscar, or your girlfriend or your wife is just that fucking naive or stupid that she can't see the sign. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna show y'all something. I got 3 dogs, and I studied the animal kingdom, but my dogs show there's a thing that animals do when they meet a potential mate. The first thing they do is what? They sniff that potential mate. What they're doing is intaking the pheromones of that potential mate. Believe it or not, human beings have the same capability. We're animals. It's inherited in all animals. Where if you meet a woman that you desire, or you meet a man that you desire to be a partner with, you can sniff that person's pheromones. When you hug them, or you just grab them and hug them, and you sniff in this area. We all emit certain pheromones. Whereas if this person is ever unfaithful to you, you can sniff that person and that pheromone is going to be off balance. Like I'm lying? Don't they even tell you in the Bible or your religious text that when 2 people come together and have sex, the 2 become one? This is why you can tell. You don't even have to go on Cheetahs or hire a detective. You can sniff your partner and notice there's a difference in the pheromone. It's like pH balance or whatever. That pheromone scent is going to be off. And from that point on, you know you cannot trust this person. But again, I mean, please, if you're watching this video and you are on the down low, please be mindful that your partner deserves, they deserve to know the truth. Now, again, we've been going for 44 minutes. Is there anything else y'all want to talk about? Because I was going to talk about the news of the day, but that's something we could do for tomorrow, because these were some topics I really wanted to talk about earlier this week. But again, situations, circumstances wouldn't allow me to, couldn't allow me to do those shows like I really wanted to. Please, y'all, hit the like button, hit the share. Let me refresh this. We got 13, and our numbers are fluctuating right now because it's midnight. Nobody was expecting me to even do a show tonight. So, I mean, I thank you all for being up with me this time of night. It's crazy. Let's see what else we got. Y'all hearing about the blood clots? I think we mentioned that earlier about the blood clots in these vaccines. So I'm not telling you all to not to take the vaccine, but I'm definitely not endorsing that you all do. Me myself, I'm not going to be a part of it. But eventually they're forcing it upon the population. Yeah, we're gonna get ready to end this because, like I say, it's midnight, man. I gotta make something happen. Y'all pray for me on that. I really don't like doing this shit no more, but it is what it is. Y'all see how they coming on the Deshaun Watson, saying all these women, all these women accusing him of doing what he supposed to did. It's crazy how when you get money though, that's one of the things you got to watch out, especially when you get money. And Pastor Baylor, no sir, I don't know Pastor Baylor. What church does he pastor, Brother Chris? Y'all give me a second. Move, child. Somebody pick that up. I apologize for that, y'all. I apologize. Move, little girl. And she's sick, man. I got to get some damn medication for her ears. This shit's crazy. Everything costs, man. But I love my puppies. Actually, my puppies, they help keep me grounded. You know, since my son has been gone for the last year and a half, these puppies keep me from going out there really taking penitentiary. Believe it or not, when I be thinking about shit, you know, and I get to thinking, man, I gotta go out here and get it. I think, what if I go to jail? These puppies will be up in this motherfucker by themselves. He passed away in 2010, but I forgot. I'ma have to ask my father. Okay, yeah. Well, you from Freeport and you living somewhere else, Brother Chris? I mean, because again, when you asked earlier, what about your city? Your city is on the birds to surpass the murders that we had last year. Last year we had like 100 and something. And to a lot of y'all that's living in big cities, that might not seem like a lot, but for a city of 190,000 people, that's a lot of fucking murder per capita. We up there in the top 10 per capita in the country. What's wrong, little girl? Hey, let daddy finish this. Yeah, but and it's crazy. When you know, everybody asks me, being an activist here and being on the forefront of a lot of shit, and I'm the person that people usually come to when they really want to know, because I'm like what they call a hybrid. A good friend of mine and a mentor of mine told me, Robert, you like a hybrid. The city ain't never seen. You're intelligent enough and intellectual enough where you're able to sit in. Yeah, I'm from Shreveport, Bossier, but the city, but I later moved in 2019 to Dallas. Everybody moving to Dallas, man. But you know, he said you like a hybrid, man. You can sit in with the mayor, the governor. You sit in with all these important people on them powerful, powerful people. You help influence legislation around here, but at the same time, you straight hood. You can go in between the boardroom and the streets, and you got respect on every level. And I don't say this to brag, but I realize that how can you say you speak for the people unless you walk amongst them to hear what they're saying? A lot of these activists are in it, and I'm not judging them saying that their heart is not in the right place, but if you are activist for the people and you go out to the people and you're speaking with these big words and, you know, in eloquent phrasing and, you know, all that proper grammar, most times motherfuckers don't even understand what you're saying. I like to pontificate upon this. Motherfuckers don't know what that means. And then they get jealous because I can reach people that they grew up in these same neighborhoods, but don't understand why they can't reach them. It's because you are literally, when you're amongst them, you're elevating yourself above them. You know, when I go out, this is why y'all notice I'm trying to stop the cussing, but it's really fucking hard to fucking stop all this fucking cussing. I'm gonna just be real. It's really fucking hard to stop cussing. But I speak to them in a language, shit, that everybody understands. Whether I could be in a meeting with the mayor and the governor and speak eloquently. Yes, sir, I understand the ramifications of this situation, but due to the trajectory of the way things going, and as soon as they say something crazy on the man, do you realize how fucking stupid that is, what you said? And this is how I talk to them. I don't give a fuck. I respect their position, but I don't give a fuck when it comes down to it. You know what I'm saying? They know I can go from 0 to 100 in a meeting with your most powerful people in the state, in the city. And this is why a lot of people who really think they're activists for the people don't get the respect of the people, because when you finally do come amongst the people, you're projecting yourself in a way where you seem above them. And a lot of times people reject that. I don't know why I got on that subject, but yeah, as an activist here in Shreveport, people, they look to me to bring information that they would normally never else get. And this is what's happening in Shreveport. They're not, and I say this not in a bragging way, but I humble myself in this when I say this, but they're not used to dealing with a brother like me, and it's nothing special, but the only difference is the internet. Now, again, I don't encourage anybody to follow the internet, especially giving your kids these smart devices. Because again, that's my point I wanted to make. They ask me what the solution is for these kids, and I tell them, simply take away their smart devices. Because again, the smart devices are making us dumb. I'm gonna give y'all an example. Like I said in the video, put your phone down and try to remember 5 numbers in your phone directory by memory. I'm willing to bet that 8 out of 10 people can't do it. Remember back in the 70s when we were growing up, you had them big old ass motherfucking rotary dial phones. Please, little girl, go. Go. Let dad do that. I'll get you in a minute. I'll find something to put in your ear. You had them big rotary dial phones where you literally had to go dial 2, wait for that bitch to come back, 2, 7. You had to literally sit there and think of the number, match the number to the phone, and then dial that bitch. Well, that helped you remember all these numbers. When we were children, we could remember 10, 15 numbers right offhand because you had to think in order to dial. Something that simple. Now all you got to do is push one button and don't even have to know it. All you got to do is have mama and hit that motherfucking button. Boop, mama gonna automatically dial. There's no emphasis on you thinking. And that's what, when they laugh at it, and I also tell them, you need to stop letting your kids, well, you need to stop listening to this music that you're fucking listening to and allowing your kids to listen to it. You see what I'm saying? Half of these kids, like I say, when in all these murders, none of these people were listening to white supremacist music or white people music in a sense. You know, fucking Creed, Guns N' Roses, Johnny Cash, Bob Dylan. They weren't listening to that shit. They were listening to people like NBA Youngboy. Where is he now? Locked up on Fed charges. They were listening to people who are talking about killing other people. Hence, when they get in a pressure situation, they can't think and say, fuck, first of all, what am I doing in this situation? If I shoot this guy, I'm going to prison. He might die, his kid's gonna suffer, I'll go to jail for life, my kid's gonna suffer. A person who can think can really form their thought process in a matter of seconds and de-escalate the situation. But a person who is indoctrinated with this culture, because again, I say this all the time, we as blacks in America are the only people who do not have their original culture. Culture, by definition, basically, to paraphrase, is the arts, the the thinking, the recipes, all the way down to your home medical remedies and all that. It's the accumulation of societal and knowledge of a group of people over a period of time. Whereas when you see these other races in America, they come here with their culture already intact. And most times know what they do. They speak their languages at home and teach their kids their recipes, their ancient family history. They teach them. We as Black people in America don't have that, because when they brought us here, are the ones that was already here, because don't let them tell you that everybody Black in America came from Africa. No, Africans were already here. You had a lot of the Indians. They don't tell you this. Were Black people. The indigenous people in this in America, they were Black people. So when they enforced slavery on us, I'm head out. I got to go to work in the morning. Thanks for your knowledge and your opinion of Shreveport, Luna. I will pray for you and your family and the other innocent of Shreveport. Thank you, Brother Chris. Thank you for joining us, man. Your comments and your input were very duly appreciated. But again, we were the only ones that don't have a culture. Hence, the indoctrination begins, and now the people who own your prison system, the people who own your music studios, the people who own the media, the people who own your social media platforms are indoctrinating us with a culture. And the culture that they're giving us is a culture of death, destruction, chaos, and mayhem. Listen to your music that's being promoted to us. Why is it that Eminem don't have to write about shooting 37 niggas or selling all this dope? Even though he might have done it, he don't have to do that shit and sell tens of millions of albums or songs or downloads. But if you want to be successful as a Black rapper, like I said earlier, you got to do all this shit, all this destructive ass shit before 9 o'clock in the morning in order to get your shit played on the radio. And then you listen to these radio stations, they're part of the problem because they're putting this shit out there. So as a parent, you really have to take control and make some hope for the next generation, because right now it's damn near too late for this generation. They always say that this generation here is smart. No, they technologically advanced. But when it comes to actual intellect, they're really one of the intellectually inferior generations ever to walk this planet, because they cannot think. Even going back to like what Brother Chris says in school, even in your school system, they're not teaching them thought process. They're more focused on patterns. They're not teaching them individualism. That's why they got them all wearing uniforms. That's a whole other story. We don't talk about the real reason why they want your kids to wear a uniform. Notice this. Well, here in Shreveport especially, all the kids that's going to the inner city public school, the inferior and failing schools, they wear a uniform from grade school all the way up to high school. But the so-called elite schools, they don't have to wear a uniform. They say it's for to make them all feel the same. Fuck that. They're all different. Each one has a different personality, different character. But when you lump them all in one group, put them all in uniform, it takes away their individuality. And at the same time, they're training them through the system of teaching patterns as opposed to think. They're training your kids with these uniforms to either accept a uniform as an average assembly line worker or a prisoner. Whereas in the elite schools, where they can choose what they want to wear, they get books to take home, to study their lesson. They get the best education. They're training them to be the rulers over our children that go to the inferior school. Laugh if you want to, think I'm wrong. Look at history. But it's a lot more that we can talk about, man. And I'm not gonna keep y'all long. It's almost 12:15 in the morning. But I keep saying I'll be more consistent with these videos, man, and I will definitely try But over the next week or so, I know it's gonna be erratic because I got to come up with what I need to come up with. And until I do that, man, I don't have a schedule. I mean, I would love, like I say, for these people to go, be consistent, man. If you're a contractor here in Shreveport, man, and you tell me that you're gonna do this and need me on this day, please follow through, or at least give me a notice that I'm not you're not gonna be able to you're not gonna need me for that day, as opposed to have me waking up thinking that I'm finna go make this money and you don't even answer my phone call when I call. That shit is demoralizing, man. And I do pretty good. Every now and then I might get a job that I can pay for a whole month of shit at one time, but lately that shit has not been happening, man. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're gonna get ready to end this show. I gotta get out here and, like I say, bleed the block right now, unfortunately. But what we're gonna do, if it's first thing in the morning, man, I ain't got no more ice. Fuck. Chad, would you move? Chad, go, move. You want attention. I can't give it to you right now. Go. Go. Hold on, y'all. Go. Fucking go, Chad. Go. She's spoiling shit right now. She's stubborn. She's sick. But I can't do nothing for her right now. But anyway, we thank y'all for joining us. I know a lot of you all are going to watch this show at a later date. Again, we want to say, send our condolences out to the family of DMX. And I'm not a person who really does, get off into a lot of that entertainment, but DMX is one of my favorite artists, man. Literally, one of the greatest of all time in rap history. I made a little post on Facebook about an hour ago, and a lot of people agree with me. But you notice, it's people in the older generation. This younger generation ain't trying to hear that DMX shit. They, like I say, listening to these motherfuckers, young ass, effeminate type ass rappers, because really a lot of these rappers on the cool are involved in that homosexual agenda, and they're promoting that to our children. So, hey, we thank y'all for joining us tonight, man. If y'all like the show, man, please hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? And share these videos. That helps us get our numbers up. And even though I've been erratic in my video posting, our numbers are steadily going. They're climbing. In the last few days, let's say last week and a half, we had almost 16 new subscribers. We like to thank you all who support us financially. You all just don't know. When y'all never ever notice when you all bless me, I do everything I say I'm gonna do with the money that you all bless with me, and I'll be consistent with these shows because I don't have to get out in these fucking streets to make it happen. So again, we ask that you all, if you really like this show, man, please support us. If you can't do nothing but throw $5, hit the cash out, man. Help us out, because again, that shit goes a long way. It's just like when you go to church, they say God needs His money to keep the uptake of the house of the Lord, to pay the bill, the house bill. Just like you get that money to your pastor. If y'all like what I'm doing, because in a sense, I'm like a preacher. I'm a street preacher. I'm a YouTube preacher, but I preach to you all reality. If nothing else, my whole job is to make you think. I don't do these videos to try to get no likes, no shares, but I do understand that the like button helps in the algorithm, because YouTube does not really want this type of information coming out. Your government, your powers that be, the system that we're under, do not want you to think. This is why they're programming you with this mindless bullshit entertainment. It is mindless bullshit where you don't have to think. All they want you to do is listen and become a mindless robot. Like I said in the video, why do you think they call this Androids or iOS, iPhone? These are nothing more than robots. You might trip and don't understand how your phone is a robot. It is designed. Joe Biden, and then his copper tongue. Joe Biden is a fucking dementia patient. Joe Biden, for all his life, I'm gonna show y'all some real game. Motherfucker don't pay attention. Did y'all ever pay attention to Joe Biden's early political career? Did y'all know Joe Biden at one time was one of the biggest motherfucking racists in America? Yeah, back in the day, he supported every Governor Wallace and all these racist ass governors of the South. This is why his guilty ass conscience led him to go and sign that executive order ending federal funding of private prisons. Because his 1996 crime bill that he signed, helped craft and signed when Bill Clinton was in office, sent a lot of black men to prison. I don't know if it was a guilty conscience or he was forced to do it, but yeah. That's in the administration. This is Joe Biden's grandfather. That's in the administration right now. What, you saying that he's an alien? You know, a lot of people believe that in this thing called the blue bloods. And these blue bloods are supposed to be the exact descendants from those beings who actually created us. Now, they're going to throw all out of y'all head. But there was not one motherfucking invisible entity that you cannot see in the sky that created mankind. That shit is not how that happened. Even in your Bible, most people in the Bible, they go and the preachers can explain this shit away. But even in your Bible, God say, let us create man in what? Our image. It was not talking about some invisible ass guy in the sky. It was talking about those beings who came down to the earth and saw what was on the earth and manipulated the DNA of those beings that were already on earth and created humans. Now, going back to the blue bloods, a lot of people believe that those who are in power, especially like the Queen of England and all these people who claim these titles, they were direct descendants of those beings. And that's what, go ahead, that's where it comes from, the term blue bloods. A lot of these people think that they are the descendants of those beings who came to the earth and created human beings. Man, you would have to be, let me show y'all something. I was finna end, but I'm gonna say this. And this is not to judge anybody's religion, but this is what this is what I believe is true, because the truth has been hidden from us, but in reality, the truth is right there in plain sight. No matter where you go on this planet or these 7 continents, your earliest drawings from history that go back 10, 20, 30,000 years, they're showing you entities coming from outer space down to the earth, and the people on the earth are looking up to them, worshiping them. But your mainstream religions can't have you knowing the truth, so they obscure the truth and tell you that there's one being who created us all, who's supposed to be so loving, but yet he'll send you to hell if you don't do what he want to do. If he was so loving, why would he allow Satan to continue to kill these innocent babies? That's what they say. Or why would he allow a baby to be born only to die? But if you go back, a bigger question, if you go back and look at the scripture, why is he the biggest child killer in the history of the world? This God who's supposed to be so loving and so caring told his people to go down there and slaughter every fucking thing in their camp, even the babies. Why did this God who's so loving, who could have did anything he wanted to Pharaoh, fucking kill the babies, the firstborn of all a male child? Why did he kill those kids instead of killing Pharaoh? Why doesn't he kill Satan instead of sending you and I to hell? But he loves us so much. No, this God that you're given in your mainstream religions is nothing but a figment of a man's imagination designed to control the knowledge that you hear and keep you subjugated. Why is it that these pastors say that they're the only one, they're anointed? I'm the only one God speaks to you. You're wrong if you say this about the Bible. You need to be taught. Fuck you mean? Like I can't read and fucking understand that when he say, let us go down there. That means somebody came the fuck down here. It's really that simple. But they'll try to explain it away. No, see, there was a Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. And he spoke. Wait a minute, he spoke that he had to fucking come down here and create man. But he spoke now, and all this shit just popped up. Come on, you see how the game? And going back to what I was saying, if I sit up here and ask people, man, make a donation to the channel, that should have helped me pay this phone bill tomorrow. That should have helped me put some money on here. People say I'm begging, and then go straight to church Sunday, and the pastor make you feel guilty that God needs some more motherfucking money. I'm like, first of all, your God must be a fucking drug addict or alcoholic, or he buying pussy, or he a gambler, because every Sunday, this motherfucker needs more money. Wait a minute, what do he need money for? Did he create all this shit? But yet still, motherfucker, you know, that's why I have to mention the Cash App shit, but I don't even like doing that shit, bro, because motherfuckers be like, well, you asking for money, you're fucking right. If you like this thing that God has blessed, the true creator has blessed me to do, then why not support? You know? So that's why I don't know. It's crazy. I can't blame me not being consistent on a lack of financial support, but there are a couple of people who've been here from day one. When they can, man, they support generously. But you can't keep asking the same old people to help, you know, the same 6, 7 people to continue to bless you when you can got damn near 1,260 more people to come in over the last year. You know, and again, I'm not criticizing nobody, and I ain't trying to get on here and preach about no fucking money, but that shit does help. You know, that should have helped me pay this phone bill. But if this bitch don't get paid by Sunday, won't be no more shows for a while. So again, that's why I went on that little tirade, but it's not part about God, because that God shit, that shit is nothing more than a tool to enslave you fucking mentally. Christians don't even realize, especially Christianity, they don't realize that half the shit that pretty much all that shit they believe, Jesus would not even set foot in one of your churches. First and foremost, you know why? Because he didn't believe in none of that shit that you all are preaching. First of all, he was a Jew. So it'd be forbidden for him in his religion to even go to a Christian church, because the Jews believed it was an abomination, blasphemy, for anybody to put themselves on even footing with God. This is why Jesus, when they asked him, are you the Son of God? He said, I never said that shit. Y'all said that. Y'all see me do all these miracles, and y'all said that shit, because he knew one thing. If he did say that, they was going to kill him instantly. Because according to his own beliefs, I do believe in a Christ. I do believe that there was a Christ, but he was no different than Buddha. He was an avatar. He was a person that basically learned to do what he did during his time in Africa. He practiced spiritualism. That's why in the scripture he said God is a spirit. Those who worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. Who he was talking to? The religious motherfuckers. He wasn't talking to the average person. He was actually telling the average person, yeah, these scribes and Pharisees, yeah, you might want to listen to some of the shit they said, but don't do none of the shit that they do, because they were fucking hypocrites. Notice what he said. Y'all, when he went in there, and the one time where they showed he was angry, he went in there and pretty much whooped the motherfucking scribes and Pharisees, the money changers, because they were in the church using the quote unquote their word of God to raise motherfucking money. They were swindling the people. But again, I ask for money, I'm begging. That shit's crazy, man. But anyway, again, y'all hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit that bell so that you can get notification. Also, again, if you can support the channel anyway, man, we don't give a fuck if it's $5. If just say 10 people gave, I mean, just now, really, if 100 of y'all gave motherfucking $5, man, do y'all realize I can pay for this shit up for a week and then start, I mean, for 2 weeks, get caught up, pay for this bit, and then actually put something ahead to try to get my house back up in order? That's just crazy. Anyway, that's not y'all fault. If y'all want to support the channel, you can. If not, keep listening. You know, maybe one day, you know, you'll be in this position. But if you got that stimulus, help stimulate the real news behind news. So again, we're going to end this video. We thank y'all for joining us. We're going to try to come in tomorrow and do a little something. But until y'all see us tomorrow, man, again, make sure that you subscribe. Share the video. Make sure that you get the notification. So until y'all see us tomorrow, man, hey, I hope y'all have a wonderfully blessed and prosperous night. I mean, day tomorrow. It's already daytime. I mean, no, another day. Y'all be blessed.